Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alexandra Fedash and welcome to a new edition of Nord News Live. Today we are joined by Her Excellency Ambassador of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland to the Republic of Moldova, Fern Horин. Hello.
Hello, Alexandra.
We will talk about the cooperation between Moldova and UK, the impact of recent agreements and the UK's role in strengthening Moldova's resilience. Welcome, Your Excellency, and thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity to talk about the UK and Moldova.
Yes, we will begin with agreement that was signed in 2024 between Moldova and United Kingdom as an air services agreement between Moldova and UK, and that is allowing direct flights between Moldova and UK's airports after Brexit. Can you tell us, have there been some concrete measures and what is implemented right now?
Well, I suppose I'd start by saying that it was a really important step for the UK and the Republic of Moldova to sign this air services agreement. It means that we can increase and expand those air links between our two countries, which is great. And we've seen that evidenced in a new route that started last year between Chisinau and Manchester. Manchester and sort of northwest of the UK is an area where there's quite a lot of Moldovan citizens, the Moldovan diaspora. So that was a great step. That route isn't operating right now. I think that's probably to do with some seasonal demand, but it's an indication of the opportunities that we have to grow the links and air links between the UK and Moldova. We have 3 airlines that fly to London, Stansted and Luton regularly throughout the week. And we also understand that flights might be doubling to the UK as we sort of approach the summer. And for me, this is about more than just about airlines and, you know, more flights to the UK and between our countries. It's also about an opportunity for more business, more trade, more tourism and increased links between our countries. I mentioned the diaspora, the Moldovan diaspora in the UK, so a really vibrant, big group of community. And so often when I'm sitting on a plane to London, I'm sitting next to a Moldovan who's either going to visit family or coming back to visit family here. So this is all about opportunities to deepen trade, business and connections, which is good for all of us and both of our countries.
Talking about trade, in December 2025, UK posted fact sheets that UK-Moldova trade reached £1.6 billion and UK exports rising sharply by over 50%. Why? How? Can you tell us what is the potential of this cooperation and why 50% increase?
So that's good news, isn't it? An increase like that for our countries. So I think I'd start by saying that economic growth is a huge priority for both my government of the United Kingdom, but it's also an important priority for the Moldovan government. When our economies grow, salaries increase, job opportunities increase, so it lifts us all. So it's a very important priority for both of our governments. And I recently spoke to my opposite number, my colleague who's the Moldovan ambassador in London, and that was one of the subjects that we were talking about. So I think there's various reasons for the increase. I think that priority for both governments is part of it. I think there's also something around, I think there was something like a 45% increase in Moldovan fruits and vegetables to the UK. And in May 2024, I signed a tariff liberalisation extension agreement, which was extending the liberalisation of tariffs on some Moldovan fruits and vegetables, so like cherries. So potentially this is an opportunity, and Moldova's agri-food business has taken that opportunity to be exporting more to the UK. And there's also been an increase, or there's some really impressive numbers of Moldovan imports, UK imports of Moldovan services. So that's a really important sector, I think, for Moldova. Digitalisation, IT, they're both really strong sectors and have potential for growth. So I think the number is something like that represented £1.9 billion, which is a really significant number. So I think there's something around the reasons for these increases being more liberalisation, a prioritisation of growth as an important fundamental priority for both of our governments. I think there's also something around encouraging our businesses, both here in Moldova and in the UK, to look at other markets and to explore what opportunities there are. And last week we hosted our Department of Business and Trade and our UK Export Finance colleagues who are here on a fact-finding mission, talking to Invest Moldova, talking to other agencies and businesses to try and understand and get a better feel for what those opportunities might be here. So I think some of this is about just us talking and encouraging our businesses to work together. From a UK point of view, it makes a lot of sense for us to support economic growth here in Moldova, because when people and citizens feel better off, that actually raises the ability of a country to sort of be prosperous and stable and secure. So there's lots of good reasons for us to continue to prioritise this, and some of those numbers that you were talking about are really encouraging.
Thank you, thank you. In 2024, Foreign Secretary David Lammy signed a contract, an agreement of defense and security partnership with Moldova. What measures have already been implemented, and how and what impact are they having?
So I was just talking about how important it is secure and prosperous Moldova, and a big reason for that defence and security partnership was recognising that Moldova's resilience is important both for this country but also for regional security and European security. So one area that we've focused on in that agreement has been about cyber security and how we can work to enhance the cyber resilience of Moldova to cyber threats and hybrid threats. Another element of the agreement has been around expanding and training law enforcement and prosecutors. And we recently hosted, actually here at the House, a group of British lawyers, British barristers in fact, who were here to train Moldovan lawyers in how to make their case, how to plea their case in front of a judge. There's also an important element around defence reform and how the UK can support through professional training and advisory support, how we can work with Moldova to increase their defence capacity. I want to stress that the UK obviously fully acknowledges and understands Moldova's neutrality. That's a constitutional neutrality, and of course that is very important. But I also believe that it's absolutely fair for a country to be able to defend itself, to have a professional, capable armed force so that they can defend themselves if necessary. So I suppose when I sort of look back at that agreement, there's been quite a lot of work, whether it's around Moldova's resilience, law enforcement, strengthening institutions, and we've worked particularly to support Moldova's democratic and economic reforms, particularly recently in supporting institutions around the elections, the parliamentary elections last year. And so that sort of partnership, and it is a real partnership between the UK and Moldova, how we can work together to strengthen state institutions, governance, and again, make sure Moldova is a secure and stable country.
UK supports efforts, Moldova's efforts to diversify our energy system. Can you tell us what are the measures that or how UK helps Moldova to diversify our energy system?
So I think I would start by saying that the UK supports the goal that I think Moldova has to be energy secure and have a resilient energy policy that isn't reliant on one particular country. And obviously Russia gas, we've seen how the government has looked to diversify, as you say, to move away from a dependence on Russian gas, and also look to join up with, for example, the European electricity network, and how important it is for any country to have energy security. So that is a goal that we fully support for the Moldovan government and the Moldovan people. We don't have any active projects on energy security at the moment, but there is a programme that we have supported, which is a World Bank programme, which is about Moldova's growth and resilience and well-being. And through that, we've worked to look at energy efficiency in schools and public buildings, because a big part of energy security is also about being energy efficient. We've also supported an internship programme for women in energy. I think there's always opportunities for women to get into the more engineering and scientific subjects. And we've also supported a National Institution for Sustainable Energy. I think that the diversification that Moldova has been going through on its energy journey is really admirable, and noting how Moldova has really expanded its use of renewable energy. I don't know about you, but on the drive down from Bulc, when I'm on the road, I saw a really big solar farm yesterday when I was going down to Stefan Voda. So there's real signs of that diversification. And coming back to your point about business and opportunities and how we grow, I think that there's probably a lot of experience and expertise from British companies when it comes to green energy and green growth, energy security, energy efficiency. So I think this is an area where we support the policy priority, and I think there may be opportunities for businesses, both Moldovan and the UK, to support the whole renewable sector. It's not only good for energy security, but it's really good for our climate as well. And climate change is a much bigger threat that we are all facing across the globe.
Cyber attacks on Moldovan institutions more than tripled since 2022, and the UK supports Moldova, they helped to create cyber core at the Technical University of Moldova. Can you tell us, beyond funding and other measures, what practical measures are being delivered by UK to help Moldova to encounter cyber attacks?
Yeah, so I think this is a challenge that many countries face, sort of the increase in cyber attacks and the threats from cyberspace. Those threats can come from external influence and interference. Let's call it out, and I think that we are all very clear the sort of how Russia uses things like cyber threats to undermine stability in a country like Moldova. So this has been an important part of our support to Moldova's resilience. We have certainly been looking at a whole range of things that we can support. I mentioned support to government institutions during the elections and helping to defend from cyber attacks then. And we saw during the elections quite a lot of DDoS, actually a huge amount of DDoS attacks. We're also working with the Cybersecurity Agency to look at how we can support policy development and capacity building how we can support their security operations centre. So sort of specific support to the cybersecurity agency. You mentioned Cybercore, and I feel really proud of some of the work that we've supported through some of our development programming. The Cybercore support and at the Technical University is, I hope, training the future cyber security specialists of Moldova, creating maybe sort of a whole, a workforce and a niche area for employment, so back to growth and opportunities. But that support has been around developing skills and the curricula at Cybercore. But I think there's sort of a whole host of work that we can do together to learn from each other around cyber resilience. And a big part of the support that we've been looking at recently is around infrastructure. So how critical national infrastructure in my country, in Moldova, can be at risk from cyber attacks, and how we work to detect, investigate, mitigate, protect against those cyber threats that are out there to undermine our infrastructure. And essentially that is to undermine citizens' confidence in institutions or in the government's ability to provide power or connectivity or whatever. So it's a deep area of our support, and I think it's a really important one, and I think it's really important that we learn from each other.
Yes. The UK-Moldova strategic dialogue in May 2025 reaffirmed support for the free and independent media. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us how do you assess the current risk for independent media in Moldova?
Yeah, so I think what I'd firstly say, it's fantastic to have you here in the house and be interviewed by you, because it's so important. The media, journalists play an incredibly important role in a democratic society, how to hold governments, businesses, public figures to account. So it's an incredibly important pillar of Moldova's democracy. I think we have seen, and I have observed over the 2 years I've been here, some increasing attacks, and I don't know how you feel, I might start interviewing you, increasing attacks against journalists, whether it's online, intimidation, again trying to undermine public trust in journalists and in sources that are meant to be, what's the right way of saying it, meant to be trusted sources of information. I'm also bothered by the misogyny I have seen against journalists as well. So I do feel that there has been an increase of threat, an increase of sort of trying to undermine journalists and the media here from a UK perspective, because we fundamentally believe in the freedom of media, that fifth estate, but also I'd add civil society and how that can really support a healthy democracy. We've been working in this area for many years. We've been supporting building capacity in Moldova Unu, the public broadcaster, whether it's about skills or editorial kind of controls or editorial sort of functions. There's been a whole host of work we've done to support Moldova Unu, and through our media programming we've supported a number of media outlets, both sort of online and TV, because again it's important to sort of build capacity and build quality so that the citizens of Moldova have access to that. I hope that that will continue through 2026, because it certainly feels like an important element of our work, and I think, again, as I say, coming back to a secure and resilient and prosperous Moldova, having the media kind of deliver what they do here is a really important element of that.
Thank you so much that you have found the time to talk with me.
It's been a real pleasure. Anytime.
Thank you.